And joining us now with the latest developments on the war in Gaza and the ceasefire deal negotiations is Colonel and Professor Gabi Siboni from the Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So the delegations are in Doha, in Qatar, for renewed negotiations. And the Trump administration seems to have shifted its stance in recent days, softening its demands, perhaps, of Hamas, even directly negotiating with them. So first of all, what do you make of this new tactic, sort of the U.S. direct talks with Hamas?
I don't know. I'm not a U.S. decision maker, so I don't know. I don't know the way the Americans behave. Anyway, I know what should be. We all know that Hamas willingly will not free all the hostages. No way. This is their insurance policy, and they will not release them. So we are trying to do the best now to get as many hostages as we can through what we call stage one, the extension of stage one. Hopefully this will realize, and we'll have some 10 hostages, living hostages back. And then I think we'll get to a point where we'll have to take a decision. Hamas, we have to understand, Hamas is not the issue. I've heard now in your report about saying Hamas will have to leave. Hamas is not the issue, it's not the problem. Hamas is only a symptom of a bigger problem. The bigger problem is the population of Gaza, which is really a barbarian mob. I have no better word to describe them. This population, if given, let's say, Hamas will leave and will be exiled and will relieve their weapons, they will invent new Hamas, Hamas B, Hamas D, and other organizations. There will always be a reduction. We will not be able to, we have tried it already, to stop the enforcement of terror capabilities in Gaza.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned...
Because they will come. Yes, please.
Yeah, you mentioned the Palestinian population itself. Israel is currently trying to begin this implementation of the Trump plan for Gaza, which would see the relocation of Palestinians. But this plan doesn't seem to have any international backing. Israel has
It will not have, no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the plan still on the table? Is it a feasible plan?
Yes, it is. I believe it is on the table. It has to be on the table because there is no other solution for Gaza. Otherwise, what will happen? Let's assume that Hamas is exiled, whatever, I don't know, put their weapons, those laundry of words. And we will have to fight in Gaza for decades. Our soldiers, our brave soldiers will have to fight in Gaza and shed their blood in Gaza to confront developing threats in Gaza, because this is what will happen. We have to move the population, to migrate the population out of Gaza. Now, I'm sure, of course, Trump has put it on the table, has normalized this discussion, and countries are still stuck with this, what we call the paradigm of two-state solution, all this, that we hear all the time, as nothing have changed. We have to put a lot of energy from Israel and together with our friends in the United States to make sure that the vision of Trump is realized. I know it is difficult. I know there are many obstacles, but we have to do it. And we have to, it's much better than fighting in Gaza. So we have to do it. And I'm sure if we put our energy into it, we will find states that will be willing to take some of the population of Gaza. Many countries have stated their support, endless support to Gaza. Spain, Ireland, Italy, Germany, Canada, Australia. So let them put their money where their mouth is and do some kind of support to this issue. And of course, there are other places that people of Gaza can be moved to. This is the only solution of Gaza. And this is what we have to do. But the main condition for this to happen is destroying Hamas, either by exiling it or whatever, if they are willing to put their weapons down, or just fighting them and killing them. So that's what we'll have to do, and we must do. And we'll get to the position of decision, I think, very shortly, depending on how the talks in Qatar will realize. One remark, though, because I've heard that the Americans are praising Qatar. It reminds me of Charlie Chaplin movie, who is going breaking windows and comes to mend them afterwards. Qatar has invented Hamas. Qatar is still, as we speak, providing money to Hamas in Gaza, as we speak. So Qatar is playing a very, hypocritical game. It is really a terror state. And the Americans, for their own interest, I don't know, praising them for their support. Be it, I don't know. For me and for many in Israel, I think Qatar is considered and should be considered as a terrorist state. We are stuck with Qatar because we want to relieve our hostages. But other than that, we shouldn't have any business with Qatar.
All right. Well, Colonel and Professor Gabi Siboni, thank you so much for your analysis today.
Thank you. Thank you.